कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
श्री 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 कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
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 हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
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 हरे मुरारे हरे मुरारे,
हरे मुरारे, हरे मुरारे,
हरे मुरारे हरे मुरारे,
हरे मुरारे, हरे मुरारे,
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद 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 हरे मुरारे,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
निज सुख निर्मल सोई पाए जो मन के मारे मारे, निर्मल सोई पाए, जो मन थे मारे मारे।
निज सुख निर्मल सोई पाए, जो मन थे मारे मारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
उठ जाग प्यारे जप नाम सवेला।
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 पी पी प्यारे यह अमृत वेला।
पी प्यारे यह अमृत वेला।
पी पी प्यारे यह अमृत वेला।
पी प्यारे यह अमृत वेला।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
गफलत छोड़ देख संतन मेला।
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 जग से जावत एक एक अकेला।
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 सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
सुख सागर
सगल संसारा,
भूलत नूरि सगल संसारा,
भूलत नूरि सगल संसारा,
भूलत नूरि सगल संसारा।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
निज सुख निर्मल सोई पाए जो मन के मारे मारे,
निज सुख निर्मल सोई पाए जो मन के मारे मारे,
निज सुख निर्मल सोई पाए जो मन के मारे मारे,
निज सुख निर्मल सोई पाए जो मन के मारे मारे।
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
सुख सागर में आए के मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे,
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 मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे, मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे, मत जाओ रे प्यासा मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे, मत जाओ रे मत जाओ रे प्यासा प्यारे।
कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा, प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। ना कोई पोथी ना पुस्तक जानूं, ना कोई पोथी ना पुस्तक जानूं, प्रेम बिना ना को ग्रंथ पछाणूं, प्रेम बिना ना को ग्रंथ पछाणूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा कैसे करूं, कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। ना कोई बाजा ना कोई सितारा, ना कोई बाजा ना कोई सितारा, एक तेरे तलब में तन का तंबूरा, एक तेरे तलब में तन का तंबूरा। कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। वास न कोई ना कोई धूपा, वास न कोई ना कोई धूपा, ध्यान धरूं एक रूप अनूपा, ध्यान धरूं एक रूप अनूपा। कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। नूरी निमाणी ना कोई बीना, नूरी निमाणी ना कोई बीना, दरवेशां दर की राखूं रीना, दरवेशां दर की राखूं रीना। कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा, प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा। कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं, प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं। पल पल प्रीतम बल जाऊं जाऊं, पल पल प्रीतम बल जाऊं जाऊं। प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं, प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं। फिरत चक्कर संसार, मैं तो भिखारी मांगूं महर निहार। फिरत फिरत चक्कर संसार, मैं तो भिखारी मांगूं महर निहार। ना कोई कर्मा ना कोई धर्मा, ना कोई कर्मा ना कोई धर्मा, पाऊं प्रेमा पंचवर्णा, पाऊं प्रेमा पंचवर्णा। प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं, प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं। वर्णाचार तो गुण अधीना, शरण तुहारे मुझ कर दीना। वर्णाचार तो गुण अधीना, शरण तुहारे मुझ कर दीना। स्वर्ग न चाहूं ना कोई शक्ति, सिद्धि न मांगूं ना कोई मुक्ति। स्वर्ग न चाहूं ना कोई शक्ति, सिद्धि न मांगूं ना कोई मुक्ति। प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं, प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं। ये तमन्ना सब छोड़े छना, तेरे प्रेम सदा हूँ पागल फना। एक ये तमन्ना सब छोड़े छना, तेरे प्रेम सदा हूँ पागल फना। विच वैरान मैं हूँ अकेला, देख संतन मेला। नैन नूरी खोल देख संतन मेला। प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं, प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं। पल पल प्रीतम बल जाऊं जाऊं, पल पल प्रीतम बल जाऊं जाऊं। प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं, प्यास प्रभु जी तेरे चरना पाऊं।
Oh yes, sure. We can adjust.
This page, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll go to.
This was earlier.
Correct, correct. संस्कृत पढ़ते हो? संस्कृत नहीं? What are you studying? Fifth year law. Will you be able to read the verses? Not read? Just try. Garhayitva. Very good. Vakyam vakshyati. Okay, very good, very good. Ready? योऽन्तः प्रविश्योमवाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञा भक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चापि व्रता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Namaste. Yesterday we had the first session on this topic. So, how to get rid of insomnia by getting into Vedanta. I said that this is something which is based on a couple of verses from a portion of Mahabharata which is called Vidura Niti. We had an extended introduction to this yesterday. So the question that we will be seeing now from Vidura to Yudhishthira can be understood well provided we have this dialogue. Jun, can you get me that laptop? So can be well understood provided we have this background, those who have not listened to this yesterday. So Sanjaya was sent as a messenger to meet the Pandavas. He returns back, and then once he returns back, he meets Dhritarashtra, and then he conveys a certain thing, so which was little uncomfortable to Dhritarashtra, and in order to get some sort of a solace, so he invites Vidura. Vidura is considered a wise man, and an advice from a wise man will be of great solace, and therefore he is inviting Vidura. So that's where it starts. So we have this verse, Sanjayo Vidura. Just one second. Okay. Sanjayo vidura praptaha garhayitva cha mangataha ajatashatrosho vakyam sabhamadhye sa vakshyati tasyaadya kuruvirasya navijñatam vacho maya tanme dahati gatrani tadakarshit prajagaram. This is a statement of Yudhishthira. Tat prajagaram akarshit means that particular statement has created a certain insomnia in me. So this is the statement that is made by Dhritarashtra to Vidura. Now, Vidura starts his dialogue with Dhritarashtra. He says, Abhiyuktam balavata durbalam hina sadhanam hritasvam kaminam choram avishanti prajagaraha. Prajagaraha is insomnia, as we mentioned yesterday. So he lists 5 things. Abhiyuktam balavata durbalam hina sadhanam. This durbalam hina sadhanam can be taken separately or it can be taken as one qualifying the other. See, hina sadhanam durbalam. See, durbala is normally used in the sense of physical strength, but it can also mean the courage that one possesses. Okay, balam can be physical, it can be mental courage. So, durbalam hina sadhanam, hritasvam kaminam choram. Okay, hritasvam 3, kaminam 4, choram. So these are 5 people who usually undergo this problem of insomnia. Okay. So here if we see this word chora, I was reminded of a very interesting verse. So chauryam normally no decent fellow will do. But one acharya in Vedanta, he says, in a sense all of us are choras. So he says this. Yonyatha santamatmanam anyatha pratipadyate kim tena nakritam papam chorenatma paharina. It's a beautiful verse. Chora is a fellow. Suppose you have something. So without your knowledge somebody tries to take it away. As long as that entity is with you, you have swatvam over it, right? So I am the owner of it. The swatvam means a certain possessiveness, ownership that you have. Now the swatvam is something which is transferred by that fellow, right? He grabs away and he has the swatvam over it. So the swatvam which we had has now become the swatvam of some other person. This is what we see in the act of chauryam, right? In the act of theft. Now, when you had the swatvam, what does it mean? When he has the swatvam, what does it mean? So we should understand what is the swatvam itself. When you had this, you had the right to give it to anybody, right? Besides that, one cannot say anything as swatvam. It comes to you at some point and then it either you are separated from it or it is separated from you. So this swatvam is as long as by certain norms, so this you can say is belonging to me. This is mine. Mine essentially means yatheshta vinyogarhatvam. I can take it and give it to anybody whom I like. So then you have what is called swatvam. Beyond that there is nothing swatvam. And now if he has taken away from you, he has the swatvam. So he can either use it or he can sell it, he can do whatever he wants. Right? So the swatvam is what is getting transferred. So it is a misplaced. So this is what happens. Now this Acharya says, Yonyatha santamatmanam. Anyatha pratipadyate. This Atma is of some nature. This fellow understands it to be of a completely different nature. So here the Swattvam was belonging to me, that fellow by grabbing it, so he claims that Swattvam over it now. So this is a misplaced Swattvam. Similarly, the misplaced nature of Atman. See, you have grabbed away, see, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is my nature. So you completely misunderstand. So this Atman is basically Sarvopati Vivarjitaha, Nitya Buddha Swabhavaha, Sukha Rupaha. Now you have taken completely differently. So we have a beautiful phrase in Bhamati, right? Samasta upadhyanavachinna ananta ananda chaitanyaikarasam ekam advitiyam atma tattvam. See, samasta upadhyanavachinnam ananta anandaikarasam ekam advitiyam atma tattvam. This is the nature of Atman. How you have understood? Pradeshikam Aneka vidha shoka dukkhadi prapanchopaplutam. So this Ananta Atma has been understood to be an iota. Pradeshikam, limited to this framework of the Sharira. Moreover, that is Sukha Rupa. I have understood to be Aneka, Saha Ekaha. So here he beautifully describes Aneka Vidha Shoka Dukkhadi Prapanchopapulutam. One who is completely engulfed by a variety of Sukha, Dukkha, whatever it is. Aneka vidha shoka dukkhadi prapanchopaplutam atmanam. Some people develop a certain complex about their sharira, some people about their intellect, various kinds of things which we develop. So if you are able to segregate this Atman from the sharira, then we will be easily distancing. It is something which is given to me for a certain period of time. So that understanding should be very clear. So therefore he says, Yonyatha santamatmanam anyatha pratipadyate. This fellow takes him as aneka vidha shoka dukkhadi prapanchopapluta, whereas he nirmukta. So that is this Atman. Kintena nakritam papam. What kind of a sin has he committed? Has he not committed? Kintena nakritam papam. Chora, by claiming the swatvam of something, he becomes a chora. So here, similarly, by grabbing away the true nature of Atman from the Atman, so you are also a chora. See, chorena atmapaharina. Okay, beautiful way. Okay, now we move on to the next slide. He is asking this question, having stated that there are 5 reasons for having Prajagara. Vidura asks, Kachchidetir mahadoshaihi nasprishtosi naradhipa kachinna paravitteshu gridhyan viparitapyase. Kachchidetair mahadoshaihi. These are all considered mahadoshas. Okay, so the 5 things which have been listed. Mahadoshaihi nasprishtosi. Nasprishtosi naradhipa. So, have you carefully isolated yourself from these kinds of doshas? The word kachit is an interesting usage. If you look at Valmiki Ramayana, there is one entire sarga which will have kachit, 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 kachit. So this is a special usage. What does this mean? You are basically inquiring someone, are you free, do you possess, etc., etc. But there, when you use this kachit, so the commentators clearly explain to us that you have to employ this word kachit under those instances where you wish that this does not happen to him. Okay, so then you should have to use kachit. If it is a mere inquiry, it is a different thing. But an inquiry with a certain intention in you that he should not have been affected by this, or he should have got this. So your wish is also conveyed through that. Then you use the word kachit. So kachit kama pravedane. So that is how the commentators explain. In fact, in Meghaduta there is a verse. Towards the end, last but one verse, he says, Kachit somya vyavasitamidam bandhukrityam tvaya me. So this is how he starts. So this Yaksha tells the Megha, Hey Somya. You have found this word in Upanishads, no? Somya is a beautiful phrase by which you address to the most dear one. Whom is this Yaksha addressing? The Megha. He says, Kachit Somya Vyavasitamidam. Vyavasitam means Nishchitam. We have Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi in Bhagavad Gita. Vyavasitamidam bandhukrityam tvaya me. I have requested you to go and meet my beloved. Have you decided? So here this kachit is used because I wish that you have decided and you are going to go there. See, and he says this is a bandhukrityam. See, this is the duty of a relative. Kachit somya vyavasitamidam bandhukrityam tvaya me. So similarly here Vidura wishes that Yudhishthira is not affected by any of them. So therefore, kachidetair mahadoshaihi nasprishtosi naradhipa kachinna paravitteshu gridhyan viparitapyase. See, paravitteshu means, so in the wealth which is supposed to be others, gridhyan, out of greed, you are not suffering from that. I hope that you are not. In fact, if you actually see, all these 5 things that are stated are there with Dhritarashtra. You see, Balavata Abhiyuktam, because he is actually foreseeing a battle. He knows that the Kauravas will perish, and therefore Balavata Abhiyuktam. Okay, so this is a certain fear that he has in his mind. Second, if you see, Durbalam Hina Sadhanam. See, this Durbalam, naturally, if you see, people, when they lose their ability of sensory perception, or any faculty for that matter, a sort of Daurbalyam comes and occupies. So this fellow depends on to know everything what is conveyed by other. So he is anyway a Durbala. Okay. So on his own he is a Durbala, and this physical problem is also there for him. Then Hritasvam. So he is a king like our Manmohan Singh. Okay. So Hritasvam, the powers are all elsewhere. Duryodhana has actually captured. Okay. Hritasvam. Okay. So though he is just sitting as a king, it is Duryodhana who keeps ruling. Okay. So Kaminam. But this Kaminam, he wishes somehow. See, this Putra Vatsalya is there. So therefore he wants somehow this to be available for Kauravas. There are various kinds of karmas that he has. So Choram anyway, so that we explained. So this is something which is there. Now Vidura asked this question, Kachidetaihi nasprishtosi. He knows that most of the things are there, but it is a way to talk to people. Understand? So he does not say you have to drop them. He just says, see, the most diplomatic way. I believe that you are not affected by any of them. Okay, this is what he says. Now for this, Dhritarashtra responds, Shrotamichhami te dharmyam param naishreyasam vachaha asmin rajarishi vamshehi Tumekaha prajna sattamaha. He says, Shrotumichhami te dharmyam. Now he says, Te dharmyam aham shrotumichhami. O Vidura, you are prajna sammataha. Everyone has accepted unanimously that you are the most wise person. So please advise me what is to be done in this instance. Shrotumichhami te dharmyam. And he says, Param naishreyasam vachaha. See, naishreyasam vachaha means the words which will be so consoling that it will transcend me from this world to a world of freedom. Okay? Param naishreyasam vachaha. Asmin rajarishi vamshehi tvamekaha prajna sammataha. Now let us go one by one. Balavata abhiyuktam. This is the phrase that he uses. See, Dhritarashtra is conceiving of a great fight that is going to happen between Kauravas and Pandavas. That's why he sent a messenger and he has come with some message to communicate. So he knows for sure that fighting with Pandavas is going to be reckless. And this is a sahasam karma. Okay. So sahasam basically means bhavi dosham analochya karana. Okay. So with a certain impulse doing something, not realizing what is going to be the outcome of it. This is a sahasam karma. This is also described by other terms called avimrishyakaritvam. Okay. Vimrishyakari, avimrishyakari. Okay. So here there is another thing which actually bothers him even earlier, but he was anyway powerless. Okay. So he knows that what the act has been unjust to Pandavas, that nothing is going to be given to them. And it is generally, foolish to actually fight with someone who is far more powerful. So here there is a certain anxiety which is filling the Dhritarashtra's mind. Terrible anxiety. Okay. So fear and anxiety, this in one sense creates certain insomnia. So after this war is coming to an end, so he perceives what may happen. Okay. So therefore, it can be even if Pandavas were assuming that at some point, so Duryodhana surrenders. So this is a yuddha dharma. So you keep fighting till they surrender to you. Once they surrender, I think you should just leave as it is, and then, so even if something is given, then what happens is, so this is a great shame, regret, so many are lost. So that also is going to, so even when he foresees that, so this is also a problem. So this abhiyuktam balavata, here in this context I am saying, so Dhritarashtra can foresee that whichever is going to be the consequence, it is going to be a problem, and therefore he is into this deep trouble. The trouble is because, so they have won over, and so they may be troubling my own sons. So here I will just try to recall. So if some of you remember the narration in Valmiki Ramayana, this Manthara tries and somehow conveys a certain thing to Kaikeyi, which she immediately accepts. Initially, Kaikeyi was far more affectionate to Rama than even Kausalya. That is how the whole story goes. Now, Manthara in many terms tries to convey to Kaikeyi that Rama should be sent and your Bharata should be occupying the throne. Kaikeyi simply trashes her views. So Rama is this, Rama is that, etc., etc. Tomorrow he may change. She says nothing is going to happen. I know Rama, so he will never ever do this. Therefore, she is not even convinced. So finally, she makes a statement that Rama may not do, but Kausalya will trouble you tomorrow. Okay, so that is what Manthara's strategy was, to shift the mind of Kaikeyi. So you have been occupying a certain position when Dasharatha was there. So tomorrow Dasharatha is not in power and Rama is in power, and therefore she will become far more powerful, and therefore you will be a subservient to her, etc., etc. This is how the mind gets actually changed in Ramayana. Now you see, there is a beautiful verse. When you become a subservient, this is what actually pains Dhritarashtra. So my sons will not be occupying any power anywhere, and they will all be subservient to the other people, and the whole thing is going to happen. So there is a beautiful verse. This is a powerful message in Chanakya Niti. See how the poets are able to see and convey a beautiful message. He says, he is describing basically the situation of a new moon day. Okay, Amavasya. Ayam amrita nidhanam nayakopyoshadhinam. Hi. Ayam amrita nidhanam nayakopyoshadhinam. Amritamaya shariraha kanti yukto pichandraha. Bhavati vigata rashmihi mandalam prapya bhanoho. Parasadana nivishtaha kolaghutvam nayati. This is something which many of us can have a feel for it. See, he says a beautiful message conveys. Amrita nidhanam. He is basically describing Chandra. See, who is so beautiful. Kanti yuktopi chandraha. And he is Amrita Nidhanam. He actually nourishes the Voshadhi and so on and so forth. Voshadhinam Raja is the statement that we find. Ayam Amrita Nidhanam Nayakopyoshadhinam Bhavati. What happens to him? Bhavati Vigata Rashmihi. So it is a natural phenomenon. See, when this fellow is here, the sun and the moon are opposite. Then you will find full moon, right? Now the poet imagines that this moon actually keeps moving towards the sun. Okay, so this process of moving towards the sun and then sort of becoming in line with the sun, the poet says it is like moon taking shelter in sun. Okay, he is going to him. And what happens when you become so? You will completely lose all your charm. You understand? So it is a natural phenomenon where the moon keeps losing. So you keep on depending on somebody. So it is a natural phenomenon. Through that he is trying to convey, you will completely lose all your things. So this is the kind of thing that he imagines. So slowly all the powers will be taken and they will be servant. And therefore he is really pained by that. Now there are various things where one can think of. See, so the consequences of this injustice is one thing which pains him. The second aspect which pains him is Abhiyuktam Balavata, they are more powerful. So we can think of similar instances. See, Ravana, as a consequence of injustice and cruelty, so he ruins himself, he is worried. And Kenopanishad, we have the story. See, so the deities boast about themselves. Now Duryodhana is in that situation. So when this happens, everything is going to be taken down, right? So that is something which is paining him. And now Vedanta says, this Abhiyuktam Balavata, now you see, there are some situations in which we may have to somehow take those instances on the face and accept and then move on. So there, what will help us? So that is what I want to convey through this. See, we have the statement in Brihadaranyakam. Punyo vai punyena karmana bhavati papah papena. So, punyo vai punyena karmana bhavati. So, here is where this attitude that we will be able to develop by digesting the scriptures can be of great use. In fact, there is a nice doha that comes to my mind. I don't know what the first half is. He says, Kabhi gaadi naav par, kabhi naav gaadi par. Okay. This is, see, when you are crossing, kabhi naav gaadi par, kabhi gaadi naav par. So basically it means there may be some situation in which I may be like this, but then it is not going to be permanently there with me. And if I am undergoing that kind of a situation, then it essentially should be understood as my own karma vipaka. Okay, so this is what essentially this means. Punyo vai punyena karmana bhavati papah papena. But then chakravat parivartante dukkhani cha sukhani cha, it is not going to be eternal. So this is the kind of picture that we need to have, and this has been so beautifully conveyed by various people. And in fact, this is very nicely conveyed to Dhruva. So that situation is, so this Suruchi and Suniti are there, both the sons go to the parents, but she drives away Dhruva, right? So this boy cries and then comes to mother. And there the message is nicely conveyed. Tanmohite pitari pashyati dharavashye duram durukti nihatas sagato nijambam sapisva karmagati santaranaya pumsam tvatpadameva sharanam shishave shashamsa. A very beautiful message. Swakarmagati santaranaya. See, so maybe this is your karma, that he tries to make a distinction between two sons. Swakarmagati santaranaya, in order to transcend this, tvatpadameva sharanam shishave shashamsa. The mother said, so go and surrender to Vishnu. Tvatpadameva sharanam. See, there are situations which we may be able to change, which we may not be able to change. One should have the wisdom to decide where we cannot change. And in such cases, we need to change. Otherwise, it is going to be a continuous conflict and you are going to be in trouble. So here, that is the message. So there, we will be able to take this attitude. This is Swakarmagati. So then, one will be able to transcend. See, kasyatyantam, in fact he says, Kalidasa, kasyatyantam sukham upanatam dukkham ekantato va nichair gacchatyuparicha dasha chakranemi kramena. Kasyatyantam sukham upanatam dukkham ekantato va. Kaun hai is duniya mein? Okay, eternally happy or eternally damned, both are not there. See, kasyatyantam sukhamupanatam dukkham ekantato va nichairgacchatyuparicha dasha chakranemi kramena. Like the rim of the wheel, nichaihi gacchati uparicha dasha. See, the state is not going to be the same. Chakranemi kramena. So this is where this abhiyuktam balavata, when we conceive of, we will be able to have a certain confidence and courage to face the situation once we understand this whole principle. Okay? So this is something which we need to keep in mind. Now, the next idea. Durbalam hina sadhanam. Okay. See, Dhritarashtra's physical disability so also troubles him. Right? So one is, this I have seen in the family itself. So when all your indriyas are functioning the way you do is something which is different. When certain indriyas go down, when you become dependent, then it becomes a serious problem. At one stage I remember my grandfather was unable to read in those days. So he had this passion of reading Vedanta all the time. So he will keep on doing Parayana of this Bhashya. This Prasthanatrayam he will just start and then complete in 15 days or sometimes little more than that. He will make one complete round starting with Ishavasya, read all the Upanishads, then Bhagavad Gita, then so you just finish Brahma Sutra Bhashya also. Then you start a certain cycle. But when he was doing with such a great joy. See, as musicians sing, he will just keep reading it loudly. Ha 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 ha. When somebody is there, the only joy that he has is come, I will tell you. So how beautifully is Shankara conveying this. So this is the only thing. Some people even try to avoid to go to him. Okay, he will be in such a great ecstasy that how this Bhashya is. So he had Paramananda in that. So initial phase was teaching Veda, later phase was enjoying Vedanta. In fact, once this Sringeri Acharya, if any of you had gone to Sringeri, so this Acharyas will be residing on the other side. There will be a river. On this side you have the temple. Okay. So my grandfather said that I want to do this Parayana. Okay. Of Prasthanatrayam. Wherever he goes, he will just say, I will complete one Prasthanatrayam. It may be 15 days, 20 days, whatever. So I have done and then Parayana, he will be very happy. So then the grandfather went and then so he was doing this Parayanam. Apparently later my father went and met the Acharya. My father said, so this Sringeri Acharya was saying, so he is doing Parayana on the other side of the river, I am able to hear here. So that is the kind of thing that he conveyed. Anyway, I am just saying, at some point what happened was, he could not read further, so there was a problem in the eye. So my father, immediately did recording of the Prasthanatrayam. So some cassette, he was doing all the recording so that he can at least listen to that. So then what happened was, he has to listen and he has to play. So there were other people who are just saying, if you keep playing, my study is disturbed, this is disturbed, that is disturbed. So, Durbalam hina sadhanam. So we see, then we feel that pity. See. So this is what I was trying to convey. So when you become sort of dependent, so it becomes sort of, some people become lonely, miserable, dependent, victimized. So all of them lead to this insomnia. Then this also I have seen, this aggressive behavior on the part of the boss. Okay. So this also creates some insomnia in some people. So they have shared with me. And developing a certain inferiority complex also creates a problem. Okay. Others did not disturb. It is your own mind which also does this. Okay. So this happened to me, this happened to me. You just, others may not mind, but you yourself mind. There are many situations where you really become helpless. Okay. So some things are superimposed upon by yourself, some things are created by external factors. So in certain cases, we all know, see, lack of health, youth, financial support, education, powers, these are all situations which can create. So loss of dear ones, okay, death, divorce, separation, so various dreams, so this can also create. One can also see a certain relation between, see, this balavata abhiyuktam and durbalam hina sadhanam. This also is possible. So all of them. So what do we do then? How do we help ourselves under such situations? So under such situations, I would just say this Vedantic thought can really elevate you. See, are we really durbala? So we conceive ourselves to be durbala. Are we really durbala? Am I really limited? So am I really a small person? Who am I then? It is with respect to a certain situation, with respect to the functioning of a certain thing, we just conceive ourselves to be so. But is it really so? Am I incomplete? All these limitations are basically superimposed upon Atman. So this is the vision that it provides you. If you feel that you are fat, so I am fat, you will say. I have become thin, you will say. Right? So this sharira and that sharira are completely different. So this fatness is associated with sharira. This I whom you are able to see is something which is different. So this I was there even when you are 10 years old, even if you are 50 years old, even if you are 98 years old. So you may be initially 35 kgs, then you will become 135 kgs. See, then with great difficulty you may bring down to 95. So somebody told me, after eating in your place for 1 week, my weight has increased by 4 kgs. So this is something which keeps happening. Now this I cannot be tagged with this sharira. So therefore anything that happens in this sharira, I need not take it to myself. This is with respect to the buddhi also you can think of. So you can easily, by thinking along the lines which has been presented in Vedanta, slowly you may be able to differentiate this I from this mind-body sense complex. If you do this, then this entity I, okay, the locus of this I, he is not going to be either sabala or durbala. He is neither sasadhana nor hina sadhana. It is only with respect to this. So this is what we are trying to convey through Vedanta. See, if being limited, you go further. All these limitations are only with respect to the mind-body sense. There is nothing beyond that. So you may today call yourself as a blind person. Earlier my grandfather was able to read. Now he is unable to read. He has become andha. So earlier anandha, now he has become andha. So the locus of I is what we call as Atman, and that is same in all entities. So it is the Sharira which is different, whereas the Atman is one. It is just like, so this light is a flashlight, that light is some other light. So the same, so whether it is my computer, whether it is this recorder, whether it is this light, all of them are activated by one entity called electricity. Similarly, this Atman is something which is pervading in various forms. Somewhere the faculty is full-fledged, completely developed. Somewhere it is partially developed. Within the human beings, I'm just saying. So at some point it is so well exhibited. At some other point it is completely lost. The same Sharira which is so charming. In fact, I met one of the dance artists recently who was almost 80 plus. So she showed something when she was 28. So it was unbelievable to see the performance of that artist. See who has Padma Vibhushan. But now she cannot even walk. There are two people who have to lift. The one who was able to dance for hours together. So what happened? The charm that was there in that Sharira, it is all completely gone. Only wrinkles can be seen. So therefore, this Sharira should be isolated. But the same eye pervades. So this is what I think this Vedanta tells you. So all these things should be very clearly understood. So this implies, now if we just take this to be the Sharira, these attributes, which are to be associated with Buddhi. Suppose somebody tells you, in fact, there is a beautiful verse I'll tell you. In my school days, suppose somebody says, in Tamil, the phrase is, "Avan moonjiya paar," means look at his face. Hindi mein kuch hai kya? I don't know. So if you say this, then he actually means it is so ugly and therefore you feel so bad and so on and so forth. If somebody, it is a censure, abuse. So sometimes you may be korangu mari irukku, means like a monkey. Sometimes they may say like an ass. Sometimes they may say like a cow, bull. So somebody said like this, the other fellow said, okay, you are saying that I am a cow or ox, whatever you can think of. So it's a nice verse. Kim gavi gotvam utagavi gotvam. So when will you call monkey a monkey? Monkeytvam should be there, right? So you will call a manushya manushyatvam if it is there. Otherwise you may even, manushya, he is not even a human being. Many times we use this phrase, no? Why? He is manushya only, but manushyatvam is not there. Right? If manushyatvam is not there, you don't call him manushya. So in all cows we see gotvam. So you are calling me a go? So okay. Now I am asking you, kim gavi gotvam uta agavi gotvam? See, is gotvam only in cows or in other things beyond this cow domain? Yedi gavi gotvam, nahi mai gotvam. Okay? If gotvam is only in the goes, then it is not in me. Therefore, I need not bother. Kim gavi gotvam uta gavi gotvam, yedi gavi gotvam, nahi mai gotvam. Agavicha gotvam, yedi bhavadishtam. Okay? So if you agree that gotvam can be in other beings than goes, then that gotvam is in you also. See, agavicha gotvam yedi bhavadishtam. Okay, yenmai gotvam tattvai siddham. So this is how we need to understand. If somebody abuses you, then it is his perspective. Let him abuse. So I am what I am. So this should be there. So this Atman, if he is anyway a limited person, then according to Vedanta, he cannot even have moksha. So this is a more detailed discussion is required. But then I am just leaving here. If we are able to think along these lines, then most of the situations that we face in life are not going to affect us. We will be able to just accept things as they are, and then we keep moving. Whether it is prashamsa or ninda. If he is doing prashamsa, it is a certain faculty of buddhi. It is a certain faculty of sharira. If it is a ninda, again it is a buddhi. So it is, and if you feel very clear, if you are very clear about, So what he is saying doesn't. So I am what I am, I know. Okay. So then these things. So here we need to understand this nature of Atman, samasta upadhyanavachinna ananta ananda chaitanyaikarasam ekam advitiyam atma tattvam. So if this is the case, so how can we call it durbala? How can it be? So this is something which has to be very clear. That's where it will help. Now coming to Hritaswam, the next aspect. See, in this context, we need to understand this Dhritarashtra knows within his own heart that this Swatvam that we try to hold in this piece of land is something which also belongs to them. So we have actually grabbed from them. This is what my children have done. He knows that it is unjust. It has to be shared. Now, this which has been grabbed is going to be grabbed by the other people now. Okay? So, this whatever has been Hrita by me is going to be Harishyamana in the near future by them. So, this is what actually pains him. So, generally people lament over loss of property, despair, anger. Okay? So, this one after the other, this leads to various, as I was telling yesterday. So I have seen people, in fact, there are people who also worry. When it is lost, some people worry. What will happen to this is another form of worry. See, I have seen this. I have created such thing, so who will going to maintain this is another worry. So this also creates a serious problem. Now, here we have to understand that this possession is something which actually is the source of problem. This possessive attitude. See, that which is there with you, it is fine. But I have a swatvam over this is a big problem. So this, unless the swatvam is clearly understood, this is going to be a serious issue. In fact, I distinctly remember some person. So we all went to some Tirupati trip, a batch of 15-20 people. So suddenly this person discovered that his card was missing. Okay, this completely changed, rattled this person. I never expected that he will become like this. I said, why are you much worried about it? I mean, you can just report. No, if somebody takes, what will happen? If somebody takes, what will happen? The sambhavana matram finishes people. So there we need to understand. See, I have also seen people who just, okay, if it is there, in fact, my own grandfather, I remember his maternal grandfather. So if he sees, he will sometimes say, yes, no, all right. So I will tell this, that this can be done. If he says yes, it is okay. If he says no, it is okay. Okay? So particularly spouse, let us say. If she accepts, it is okay. If she does not accept, it is okay with me. See, yes, no, all right is what he will keep all the time he will keep saying. So this is what harsha, amarsha, bhaya, budvegaihi, muktaha, yaha, sacha, me priyaha. This swatvam, if it is there, see, this bhaya, udvega comes. So you can just think, if it is going to be with me, it is going to be with me. If somebody has taken, he has taken. That's all. So why keep worrying about it? Whatever it is, later we can worry. So till the time we reached, lamenting for hours together. What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? Nothing will happen. So this is a major problem. This Hrita Swam, ultimately, the Swam also, you did not come with anything. It just came to you on the way. So many things come to you. Right? It is not necessarily that you qualify for what you possess. And when it comes, you are so happy. And when it is likely to go away, or even thinking that it may go away, you feel so sad. Okay? So here is where the problem is. So here, this Hritaswam, one need not really worry. Actually, Swam is only Atma. Nobody can snatch. Swam is Atma. Swam hi apito bhavati. Tasmadenam swapiti ityachakshate. See, we keep wandering everywhere. And then you come back. Every day you have this experience. You return back to your own self. You don't have any identification with the Sharira. You don't have any identification with the Buddhi. So you are just happily dwelling with yourself. This is actually Swam. Who can take away the Swam from you? So Hritaswam itself is completely gone. The notion itself is foolish. Okay? So this we need to utter. Normal level also one can think of. So if the karma is such that I have to possess this, I will anyway possess, nobody is going to take. If the karma is such that it has to go away, let it go away, so I don't need to care, bother about it. So you can either take it that way, or you can just take it. So this is something which we need to understand. Unnecessarily perturbing oneself too much over these things is meaningless. In fact, there is a beautiful description. Bhagavad Pada says what is normal behavior of people. Nakasyachid samarthoham. This fellow keeps lamenting. I am useless. I am useful for nothing. Good for nothing, or English phrase. It is essentially this. Nakasyachid samarthoham. Putro mama vinashtaha. Mrita me bharya. Kim me jivitena. What is there in life for me to live? Ityevam dina bhavam anisha. Taya shochati santapyate muhyamanaha anekaihi anartha prakaraihi avivegitaya antaschinta mapadyamanaha. These are all things which have been superimposed by us. Okay? So this is what actually creates this insomnia. Vedanta helps you to just trash them away. Okay, at a Vyavaharika level, see, if we think seriously, there is nothing on which I can really claim ownership. Right? There is nothing on which I can claim ownership, because I didn't bring anything. It is all given to me, entrusted for me to just hold for some time. This is inclusive of our own Sharira. See, not necessarily external properties. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyati. As a pen is with me for some time, as a cloth is there with me for some time, so too is this body there with me for some time. In a longer time frame, that is what it is. So this is something which we need to understand. At a Paramarthika level, okay, so things are just superimposed on the Atman, on the Anatman. So therefore we can just leave. In fact, we have beautiful, see, Dehendriyadishu aham mama abhimana rahitasya pramatritva anupapattau pramana pravritti anupapatte. See, in Adhyasa Bhashya we have very beautiful thing. So this, according to Vedanta, asangohyayam purushaha. In fact, there is a very nice verse which beautifully explains this idea. Yah kaschit saukhya hetoho trijagati yatate naiva dukkhasya hetoho dehe hanta tadutha svavishaya mamata cheti dukkhaspade dve janan rogabhighatadyanubhavati yato nitya dehatma buddhihi bharyaha putrarthanashe vipadamatha parameti naratinashe. So beautifully he says. This Hritaswam etc. is all because you associated with some entity this Swam. Therefore he says, Yah kaschit saukhya hetoho. Every fellow in this world, Doesn't matter whether it is a mosquito or a monkey or a human being. Saukhya hetoho trijagati yatate. If you try to catch a mosquito, it will try to escape. Saukhya hetoho, it wants to enjoy this freedom. Trijagati yatate naiva dukkhasya hetoho. Then Bhagavad Pada says there are only two reasons. This Prajagara is all because Dehe hanta tadutha svavishaya mamata cheti dukkhaspade dve. It is the excessive anxiety, and therefore which creates a certain sense of dukkha, which creates this insomnia in the human being. Now, if you just understand this ahanta and mamata which I have developed, dehe ahanta, and then comes mamata, I am mama putraha, I am iyam mama bharya, etc., comes after this sharira. So, once you have distanced them, so dehe ahanta, if it is gone, obviously mamata is gone. Dehe hanta tadutha svavishaya mamata cheti. These are the two factors which are actually the source of sorrow. If you think that I am witnessing this, then where is the source of sorrow? Dukkhaspade dve. Now he beautifully brings it through an example. Jan roga bhighataadyanubhavati. Roga is physical roga. Abhighata is a certain insult. So insult or physical thing is associated with the sharira or buddhi. I am different from that. If I have achieved something, what have you achieved? I mean, it is some intellect which has been given to you, which was functioning in a particular way, and you got it. Where is the source of pride or arrogance which is born out of it? See, Janan roga bhighatadi anubhavati anitya deheshu atma buddhihi. So, identifying the swam with those entities, okay, so we have been experiencing. As long as this hand was there, that hand is your swam. When the doctor says it is severe diabetic, you have to remove your leg. I know a pandit who had to remove. So, where is that swam buddhi? Gone. So, you are the same I, whether you had legs or you don't have legs. So, here he is saying, this bharya putrartha nashe, suppose you had a very loving wife and obedient son, or at least someone who will at least listen to you. So then you will be happy. But as I was telling that yesterday, German, okay, this onion going to, okay. So vipada para. So here he is saying, if an enemy has died, are you going to be happy? Are you going to be unhappy? So if someone whom you believe that they are belonging to me and they are so loving to me, ultimately it is atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. If the bharya is a source of trouble, if she goes away, he will be happy. There are so many people who kill, no? We hear stories. So killed his own son, killed his own wife. They try to find some ways to escape. See, why? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So earlier he was saying, I cannot live without you. Now he will say, I cannot live with you. See, so that is what he says. This ahanta and mamata are the source of dukkha. You drop, where is the question of dukkha? And hence insomnia. That is what Vedanta helps. Now come to this kaminam. Fourth factor. See, Dhritarashtra has a great kamana for making Duryodhana the king, and he wanted to see his own putra. At any cost, he feels that he should be still as a king. So that he is really worried whether it will work or not. And since he wanted to, he sort of overlooked this ethical conduct also. So he could not punish him because he is Durbala and Hina Sadhana. Durbala, see, the point is we have to understand, even if he were a blind person, as a king he could have exercised his power and then said what you do is wrong, or he could have put him to exile. He didn't do. He is a Durbala. So now you see this Kama and Durbala, it is a combination. See, now there are so many things that one can think of. This desire fulfilled this fellow. Okay. There are many people I have seen who, when they are facing a certain situation where their desire is not fulfilled, certain habits which they have dropped, they once again they pick up. Okay. They might have dropped consciously drinking, they might have dropped consciously smoking, etc. But then something happens, they once again go back to that. And then they land into more serious trouble, etc. I have seen in our own family circles. So they get into all kinds of things when the karma is not fulfilled. Okay. So this Vedanta tells you that it is essentially this karma. We have beautiful verse, no? Kamah krodhas tatha lobha tasmadetattrayam tyajet. So here, this karma, because of karma one gets into ultimately, so it says, you may have to drop. So you just have to accept as things come. This is the ultimate stage we need to reach. So this is what Vedanta tells. And it clearly explains to you, it is the karma which makes you do some karma. And it is this karma which actually leads to either appointment or disappointment. And that actually in a larger time frame leads to janma. And without janma you are not going to have anyway dukkha. So this you have to put an end to it. So he says, Naja, in fact this is a beautiful verse, Najatu kamah kamanam upabhogena shamyati habisha krishnavartmeva bhujaye vabhivardhate. Therefore, there is no point in being a kami. Okay. So this kama which can really finish you. See, so this is something which we need to avoid. In fact, I will show you. This is, most people have karma only for one thing. I have to earn more, I have to earn more, I have to earn more. This is something which seems to be never satiating karma. Okay. We had this example, no? What is this fellow who was actually this McKinsey chairman CEO, Rajat Gupta. You know that story of Rajat Gupta. Rajat Gupta was such a successful person from Bengal who lived in US. At one point of time, he had money. He had money so much so that every hour, if we just calculate the interest, he will get some thousands and thousands of dollars. The interest alone. But then this karma was driving him. So he went into some unethical practice. Completely finished. He was completely finished. So that is why it is said, see, there is a beautiful thing. See, more money does not necessarily ensure happiness anyway. But generally people think. So sometimes they think I will be happy if I marry her or him. Let me make it happen. And in the process, they actually kill the happiness of so many people. So we see this. And ultimately that also thoroughly fails. I know some of these Vaidikas people also in my close circles. So his father cried. You don't get into that Muslim boy. Finished within a few months. So this is all something which happens. So now, ultimately we see that it is the Vitta that drives. Okay, they consider that to be far more superior than family. There are very few people who feel that living with grandchildren along in a same family would benefit the grandchildren along with the grandfather. But this is completely gone. It is primarily Vitta that drives anyway. So here there is a beautiful verse which Bhagavad Pada writes. Dhanam bhaya nibandhanam satata dukkha samvardhanam prachandatara kardanam sphutita bandhu samvardhanam Vishishta gunabadhanam kripanadhi samaradhanam na mukti gati sadhanam bhavati napi hrichodhanam. The beautiful verse composed in Prithvi meter. He says, Dhanam bhayani bandhanam. In many cases, if you don't have anything, what is there for you to fear? Okay. Only if you possess something, you have to lock the room. If it is not there, you don't need to. Dhanam bhayani bandhanam. Then he says, Satata Dukkha Samvardhanam. In fact, Satata Dukkha Samvardhanam is a beautiful thing. See, it's a nice verse. Arjane Rakshane Dane Veyevapicha Vastunaha Dukkhameva Sadanrinam Nadhanam Sukha Sadhanam. Arjane, in earning there is some problem, difficulty. Rakshane, okay, in carefully depositing there is a problem. Dane, in giving also there is a problem. Because mind does not just come. Vyaye vapi, on its own it goes, then also there is a problem. Arjane rakshane dane vyaye vapi cha vastunaha dukkhameva sadanrinam nadhanam sukha sadhanam. These are all a certain view which will really help you in trying to get away from that, slowly detached. In fact, this is what they say, no? Kakasya vishtavad asahya buddhihi bhogyeshu sa tivra virakti rishyate. Virakti tivratva nidanamahuhu bhogyeshu doshekshanameva santaha. If you want to develop a certain dispassion, then this is the view that you have to take. There is no other option. See, there he gives the example. If Kakavishtha is there, see, suppose sometimes it happens in IIT, there will be some dropping. So the moment I go to the department, I would like to wash. I mean, if it is there, so what? But we would like to get rid of, right? See, Kakasya vishtava dasahya buddhihi bhogyeshu sa tivra virakti rishyate. See, tivra viraktihi, in the bhogyas, if you have, as you would like to get rid of Kakavishtha, so too if you have a certain attitude to get rid of all the bhogya, then that is called virakti. And virakti tivratva nidanam. See, what is the source of getting this virakti? Bhogyeshu doshekshanam. We can always have that this is going to be guna. We can always develop this is going to be dosha. It is like this, no? So, you may be so thoroughly enjoying rasagulla, but then diabetes is there. You have doshekshanam. Then you will not take, right? There are some people who will still take, but 2 more tablets have to be. But then, so beyond some limit you have to avoid. In fact, one Pandit I remember. This Pandit, we were meeting in some sabha. I know he has been diabetic for 10-15 years. Some sugarcane juice was brought. Took the first glass, I was just witnessing. Again second glass, then I went to him. What are you doing? He said, don't bother, I will take some 3 more tablets in the afternoon. See, so this is doshekshanam. If you have that, then you will not indulge in that. See, nobody wants to harm himself. But something is there. See, so similarly here he is saying, dhanam bhayani bandhanam satata dukkha samvardhanam. These are all ways by which you can develop a certain doshekshanam. For you to develop vairagya. If you believe that vairagya is going to help me, then this is the way. That is what they have shown to us. See, prachanda, and this is true also in a sense. Prachanda tara kardanam, sputita bandhu samvardhanam. See, earlier, this, I know, I'm just telling you. This recently, I was in Bengaluru. I had to carry some big suitcase and another thing. Somebody just like that saw me and then said, sir, I will carry this for you. And then he picked up some conversation. We were just standing. He said this to me. Sir, we had such a close relationship with somebody. Now he has raised in the position. No, he doesn't even care for me. See, Sputita Bandhu Samvardhanam. It happens. Okay. So he cannot associate. He would not like to attend calls. We were such a close and thick friends, he was saying. But now it is completely gone. Vishishta Gunabadhanam. See? And sometimes I have also seen, when you have some, then you would like to share. When you grow more, then that attitude of sharing is also gone. Kripanadhi Samaradhanam. I have seen my own classmate. That fellow, 15 years ago, he was saying, no, we should do something for the school. Then he rose in company, now IT company only. Then some time back I asked, so why not we do? No, I have some commitment. The Kripanadhi Samaradhanam, I could clearly relate. Nothing more. What commitment? That Kripanadhi, miserliness. Na mukti gati sadhanam bhavati napi hrichodhanam. It doesn't happen. It's all beautiful verses. Okay. Within 5 minutes I will complete. So here is there is another beautiful verse. Ashaya ye dasaha te dasa sarvalokasya. Asha dasi yesham tesham dasayate lokaha. If we can find it in Ramakrishna, we can find it in Ramana Maharshi, we can find it in so many people. See? Ashaya ye dasaha te dasa sarvalokasya. See, Asha dasi yesham tesham dasayate lokaha. Powerful message. So this Kaminam is what he is trying to convey. So last thing is Choram. See, so Dhritarashtra has been generally a puppet to Duryodhana, who was not sharing even a piece of land with Pandava. This is the situation there. Yes, actually, it is indeed an act of stealing. Now, there are different forms of stealing that one can think of. See, earning money by blackmailing illegitimate ways. Okay, receiving salaries without delivering output. We can see this is also a form of stealing, sophisticated stealing. Okay, so many people are there. Now, not going to time, okay, not settling debts, so not being punctual, so wasting the time of others. So there are so many ways of, see, or sometimes, so going, sir, I want to talk to you, some fellows will keep saying. So we cannot avoid in certain situations. It will be stealing our time. See, this also is, there are different forms of stealing. Because they have to come and share something, they have a problem. Sometimes we may do, sometimes we may have to avoid that also. Anyway, hi. So using someone's idea, this is also another form of stealing. According to Vedanta, okay, there is a beautiful Ishtan Bhogan Hivo Devaha Dasyante Yajna Bhavitaha Tairdattana Pradayebhyo Yobhungte Stena Yevasaha. It's a very powerful message. Since the time is up, I will not elaborate on that. See, this is what Vedanta does. This is a beautiful message here. See, you have been given with something, and it is your duty to share. You can't be a mere consumer. You have to be a contributor. So this is how I think this is where you people are doing a great service, I know. So that's what. This is something, I have been blessed with something, it is my duty. So it is the same Atman which is dwelling. Therefore, it is my bounden duty to care for. See? So this is a very, very powerful message that we find. In fact, I was so happy reading this. See, I am going to end with this. See here, Vivekananda, what is the goal of life? Is this world the goal of life? Nothing more? Are we to be just... Oh, next slide, sorry. What is the goal of life? Is this world the goal of life? Nothing more? Are we to be just what we are? Nothing more? Are we to be means in this? See, Nitya Dehatma Buddhi. not Anitya Dehatma Buddhi. So this Nitya Dehatma Buddhi is a man to be a machine which runs smoothly without any hitch anywhere. Is enjoyment the goal of life? Were it so, it would be a tremendous mistake to become a man at all. So this has an interesting idea. See, that it is the karma which has brought you this sharira. Okay. So go to Menagiri and see the wild animals tearing the flesh from the bone. You are not different from that zoo animal anyway. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam. If it is there, then what is the point? So what is the goal then? He says, we are here for freedom, for knowledge. See, it is the knowledge which gives savidya ya vimuktaye. See, jnanadeva tu kaivalyam nanyah pantha vidyate ayanaya. So we want to know in order to make ourselves free. This is our life. See, one universal cry for freedom. See, iha cheda vedi datha satyamasti nachediha vedi mahati vinashtihi bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhiraha pretyasmallokad amrita bhavanti. So this is what. So once you have a clear understanding of this, this will help you from getting rid of all kinds of prajagaras. All kinds of prajagaras. That should be something which is to be aimed for, and it is this which is going to be of use to you in leading a happy, peaceful life. So it is this unhappiness which is the source of prajagara. That this should happen, without this. So this kind of a worry is what, this is the last slide. See, in fact, this is a very powerful message which is conveyed by Adi Shankara here. He says, the sharira, see, the sharira is just like a guest house. You are a guest residing in the guest house. So what is happening to the guest house is something which should not bother you too much. Right? Tishthan gehe griheshaha apyatithiriva nijam dhamagantum chikirushuhu. See, you stay in guest house. So if you go for a conference, you stay there for a couple of days and then you move out. What happened to the guest house? It doesn't matter to you. Right? Similarly, he says, so this Atman is going to be dwelling in this guest house for some time. Then you will go out. Dehastham saukhya dukkham na bhajati sahasa nirmamatva abhimanaha. So if you have this mamatvam, then there is something which is going to be affecting you. If you don't have that mamatvam, I don't have mamatvam in the guest house. So whether a tree is growing there or something is happening, some paint is falling, I don't care. So similarly, you have to just, so this is something which he is trying to communicate to you even with respect to your own physical body, let alone other things. This mamatvam comes in various levels, in various things. So here he is saying, you just conceive of this itself for, so this is like this, so it is like this, so you just leave. So fire, he says, ayatrayasyatidam jaladapatalavat yatriyasyatyavashyam dehadyam sarvamevam pravidita vishayaha yascha tishthatyayatnaha. These things come and go. Ayati. So this is, he gives a beautiful simile. The cloud comes, right? It takes a certain shape and then its shape changes, then moves, it pours out, completely dissolves itself. It is like this. The sharira just gets formed, it grows, takes various shapes, and then it goes. Once again goes back into the cycle. Similarly, we need to...
Sight is an American detective comedy drama television series created
Apple
by
problem.
USA Network.
This Siri.
You want me to keep reading?
Huh? No man, please go.
I wasn't able to find No Man in your Apple Music library. When I listen to music, I ask for it on a different app.
Yeah, correct. Correct. This should have been switched off. See, some ashariri walk. All this time I was talking, I was keeping quiet. So Veda. When I said guest house, he got woke up. Other terms he did not understand. Anyway, so okay. So he says, Dehadyam sarvamevam. This is what is the message. See, whether it is Indriya, whether it is physical Sharira, whether it is the ability of the Buddhi to solve a certain problem at a certain stage, unable to solve a certain problem at a later stage. So one should just be understanding oneself as a witness to all this. If you are a witness to all this, then you don't identify with the properties that are associated with those entities with yourself. Then, whether it is functioning this way or it is functioning the other way, it does not bother you. So that is why he is just saying it is just like, see, a cloud which is taking various shapes, gets, see, this is a beautiful simile. We know the cycle of the cloud also. See, it rises, comes, pours down, finishes. It is just like finishing. So this is how we need to understand with respect to Sharira itself, let alone other things. Yascha tishtati saha ayatnaha tishtati. Just a beautiful life he has. And if you want to get this attitude, there has to be some sukrutam. And sukrutam is not something which is given to you, it is earned by us. We need to understand that. Sukrutam is, when we say sukrutam, janmantara sukrutam, it is an activity, even if we understand, which has started yielding a certain fruit. So therefore, if we want to have some good sound sleep, there must be some sukrutam. There are so many people. If we have to enjoy that privilege, then you have to be a dharmatma. Otherwise, it will kill you. I have seen so many people in my own life. So they were thinking that they were so clever when they were young and trying to grab certain things from their other relatives. And I know when they were in the bed, so I and my mother went and visited, that fellow started simply crying because he recalls the kind of ills that he has done. Just finishes. In fact, he says, that Bhagavad Pada asks, Kim Shalyam? Shalyam means spear. What is piercing you like a spear? He says, Prachannam yat kritam papam. See, that is there. The self knows. Prachannam, thinking that you are so clever. So later it just, so we had to console him so much, but he could not console. See, that in spite of all this, these people come and see me. That, so this is something which is very important. You have to, if you lead a life of dharma, standing to the principles of dharma, then any amount of difficulty is going to be only a source of happiness for you. That moment is something which is very important. So this is, we need to understand. So if we just leave everything for the comfort of the Sharira, then there is no joy in that. So this is what we need to keep in mind. So it is a natural choice out of understanding of the reality of Vedanta. See, so once we develop this vision, so we are able to see that the whole perspective of the life changes. So it is this vision that has to be dawning in ourselves, and it will not dawn unless we keep repeatedly thinking. Because normally we are just carried away in some path. It is a completely different path, line of thinking rather, I would say. So this is what actually matters. So See, we have a beautiful phrase in Sanskrit, Drishti Bhedat Drishya Bhedaha. See, it is the same entity. If the Drishti changes, then Drishya changes. See, there is a beautiful verse, Maunan Mukaha Pravachana Patuhu Vatulo Jalpakova. See, if you keep, see, if you have some forbearance, let us say, that fellow will say, he is incapable, therefore he is keeping quiet. They may say, it's okay, doesn't matter. See, you may have kshama, you know, but this can be completely interpreted differently. Maunan Mukaha. If you keep speaking, Pravachana Patuhu, Vatulo, Jalpakova, everything can be completely misinterpreted. Okay. So here, once you have this vision of Vedanta, whether he abuses or he praises, you know that it is all with respect to this which is seen by me, and therefore I need not be affected by that. See, this is where it really helps. And the vision of Vedanta is not mere moral teaching. It permanently removes the root cause of all sufferings. See, so this is what we need to understand. Therefore, by getting on to Vedanta, we can wake up to the reality instead of waking up in the middle of the night. Thank you. June, we can distribute that prasada to all people. 2 minutes. Yeah, just wait.
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. My again respectful namaskars to Professor K. Ramasubramanian ji and you all devotees, guest audience present in the hall. On behalf of Ramakrishna Math, I convey my heartfelt thanks once again to Professor and for delivering two beautiful talks on this Saturday and Sunday. And I personally, and therefore I assume that you all must have enjoyed it. It will be as a link, as a video on our YouTube channel. You can visit it again. I will try to make this PDF also available, whosoever would be interested. And we had requested sir to deliver a talk, something on Vedanta, but which would be easygoing on the people and people can correlate to it. So this topic, which is very realistic, very pertinent to many of us, most of us, in various ways. We may not be all insomniac, but the ideas and approach and outlook towards life which it delivers, and beautiful anecdotes through this Mahabharata and his personal reminiscences, experiences. It was very enriching, and what remains for all of us to now once again remind ourselves to think and take these ideas seriously, and let us try to assimilate, let us try to imbibe, let us try to develop within it ourselves. So I thank you, sir, once again. On behalf of from the Ramakrishna Math, we would like to present a small token of our gratitude in the form of some cloth, a souvenir, and a Centenary celebration souvenir and a memento. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you once again. And sir has brought some sweets as a prasad to all of you. I think June will distribute. Ms. June, she is a sir student, and I have kept some tissues here so that it can be helpful for them.
Yeah, this is Nirlepa.
Okay. So anyway, so this can keep some very fine.
So that's very useful if you want to carry.